All right, good evening, everyone. This is the Concord Town Finance Committee meeting. I am not sure if we're on the air, but I will open the meeting. Right now, I see 3 people online. We have Greg. I'm trying to read from across the room. So Eric Dahlberg, Amherst. I'm sorry, Parashar.
Peggy, I think it's Suresh Bhatia.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
And D. Ortner just joined.
D. I know that Amherst and Christine are not going to be at tonight's meeting. In the room, we have Ray. Don. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, including myself.
Hi, Ms. Ortner and Mr. Bhatia. Can you just confirm your mics are working?
I believe it is. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. I couldn't get on, Peggy, with the URL that was in the agenda. In the past, we always were able to do it. And I can if you just go to the town website and download the agenda, you could usually just click on that and get into the meeting. And that's not working anymore.
Okay, we'll look into that.
Thank you.
Okay, so 7. We have 7 so far. 2 I know are not coming. So we need.
You have 9, don't you? You have 5 in the room and 4 online?
No, we only have 3 in the room.
Oh, sorry.
Also in the room is our Bob, our interim finance administrator, who's going to be working with the finance committee this year. So he's our guy. And we also have the chair of the Board of Selectmen.
Did you say you have 7?
Total, we have total right now of 7
Okay.
members.
And we only have 13 members, right?
No, we have 15.
15. Right now, we have 2 vacancies. So we have 13 current members.
Right.
Good question. I don't know whether
It's of the total.
we need the total. Bob says we need a quorum of the total, not the
I think you're getting it.
current. So we just need one more
I think we only
person.
have 6 members,
Okay.
3 in the street and 3 here, right?
No, because I think that's Chris. 1, 2, 3, 4 on TV.
I don't see the 4th. That's not Parashar, and so that's
Who is that?
Dee and Greg and
Who's
Eric.
that up in the right-hand top?
Suresh is our newest member.
Suresh, yeah.
Suresh, yeah.
Suresh Bhatia. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Good.
Chris, can you label him as FinCom?
Yep.
So I know,
I
hopefully,
heard some knocking downstairs. Let me just see if I can.
Yeah, probably the front door.
Yeah.
Gee, you should be FinCom too. Peggy, while we have this time while we're waiting, if we actually get enough quorum, I think you possibly have a chance tonight to make the fastest ever FinCom meeting with the agenda that's posted. I challenge
I think you're right, Greg.
Greg, we are on the same wavelength here because I already announced I thought we could do this in under an hour.
Ah.
Oh, really?
My
Wow.
apologies. I had the
I-
same problem. I had to type everything in because I couldn't hit the
And
link.
and I have a reputation to uphold for other chairmanships.
As a rookie, I was looking to make the motion to adjourn, but I still have
Second.
Okay. All right, we got Kathy here. The front door was locked. Thank you. There's Kathy and
Peggy, your plan didn't work.
we're meeting everyone in person for the first time. So Brian Taylor also here. As I said, we have Matt Johnson, the select board chair.
And I just downloaded the agenda on the website and the link worked.
Okay.
It did?
Yes.
Not free. What are you using?
That didn't
Matt?
work for me
Windows?
either, D. You're not alone.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
glad
the
to
three of
hear
us.
that.
The three FinCom members that needed it didn't get it to work.
Okay.
Okay, I will mention that to the powers that be, which is not myself. Okay, so now it's 10 after 7. We do have a quorum. Why don't I just run down the membership list? Please say aye if you're here. Are we supposed to do that roll call?
Yes.
Attendance to start. Okay. Ray Andrews.
Aye.
Sir Spazia.
I
Margaret Briggs, aye. Kathy Kukalo.
Here.
Eric Dahlberg.
Aye.
Amrith Kumar is not going to be here tonight. Don Kupka.
Aye.
Dee Ortner.
Here.
Parashar.
He's not here.
Okay. He's not in yet. Christine Reynolds is not going to be here tonight. Brian Taylor.
Here.
And Lois. So we may have two, and Greg. Careful,
I'm here.
Greg, and thank you
Here.
for agreeing to serve a second term. Very much appreciated. So we may have two more members joining us or not. We currently have two vacant slots. Our Carmen Reese has been working very hard on those. If anybody we do have two parties that we have been speaking to, that she has been speaking to and I have, both very well qualified, but neither have had said yes yet. So if anyone on this committee has some recommendations, that would be wonderful. They should be forwarded directly to Carmen Reese, the town moderator. It's her sole responsibility to make nominees. It's not our or my or any or the select board or anyone else's responsibility. It's just Carmen's. So that would be great. Okay.
Madam Chair, quick question for you.
Correct. Yes.
The quorum, how is this working now that we're post-COVID, but not really? Or has the state changed the rule on voting? Because my understanding was that at some point it was going to revert back to. So do we actually have a quorum or do we not?
Matt.
So at present, through July 15th, you're fine. And
Okay.
there's pending legislation to extend that through 2023.
Oh, great. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Right answer. I wouldn't be surprised if it's extended for quite a while because I don't really see it ever changing, especially with today's technology. Okay. That's second item on the agenda. Item number 3, committee assignments. I am never one to upset the apple cart. So why don't we just run down the assignments, the previous assignments, and make any necessary changes. I will read the committee and the current assignment, and I will ask on to re-up or say, I'd rather do something different, and we'll go from there. So the select board goes from Chris to me as chair. Board of Assessors, D.
Yes, I had Board of Assessors and also the Concord Housing Authority.
Yep.
I'd be happy to do both, but I would like some coordination with Ray, because I'd also be interested in observing the Affordable Housing Trust. But I would defer to him if that's what he wants to do.
Yes. Is this microphone must be on? Yeah.
Is it on the screen? Yep.
Yeah, I would be happy to observe the housing authority. I mean, Christine asked me last year to sort of take it as a topic, this housing stuff, and I'm happy to do that. I don't need to do it alone, but happy to do it. So I'd be happy to observe the housing authority as well as the Affordable Housing Trust.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Excuse me, there's one other in there, the trust, the housing authority, and you already have the Concord Housing Development. So honestly, Dee, I was wondering if you want to take community preservation, since I'm going off of that.
Oh, I love community preservation. That would be fine. I know. That would be fine if you want me to do that.
I would love to have you do that one.
Okay.
D. So if you do
Yep.
assessors and CPC,
Okay.
then Ray can do Concord Housing, Affordable Housing Trust, and Concord Housing Development. Does that sound good to you, Ray?
Yes.
I don't want to
Housing
overload.
Authority, the Affordable Housing Trust, and the Concord Housing Development. Yes.
Okay. But I don't want to overload any one person. So Dee, does that work for you?
That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you, Ray.
But we'll settle up later.
No good deed goes unpunished. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip a couple that are vacant now. Greg, would you like to stay on the light plant? Or I think you and I talked about, did you want to do something different?
Yeah, I would like to come off the light plant. I was unable to make most of their meetings.
Okay.
So that one is not really suited for my time schedule. So I can pick
Gotcha.
up something different, but I would like to give that one up.
Okay, well, how about the middle school building committee?
That is a conflict of interest for me.
I'm just kidding.
Your humor didn't come through this time, Zoom. I will, at the end of the meeting, Peggy, at the end of the meeting, just remind me to state the conflict of interest, and I'm going to give you the paperwork. So
I think I remember that from last year, but that's
just for new members and everybody to refresh. So that's all.
okay. So let's hold off, Greg. I'm putting you on the side for right now. Eric, are you okay staying with the Public Works?
Yes, I am.
Okay, excellent. Lois is not here. She has planning board.
If she is not interested in that, I would be interested in it.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. That's fantastic. Thank you, Dawn. So does she, okay, so she's going on the side list under Greg. And woe be to those that don't attend the meeting. Kathy, are you stick with the schools? Okay with that?
Yep.
The next one we have is the middle school building committee. That was Dean. Needless to say, that's a biggie.
I can take that on if this, Hopefully, there's no conflict of interest, though I do construction management. That's my consulting work. And I do a lot of, MSBA schools, so I'm pretty familiar with the process. So I can jump into that one there.
Whoa, a volunteer.
It's the
We
morning,
haven't met-
so
We haven't met in person, but I can't wait till we do. Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
And his name?
Suresh.
Thank
What?
you. Thank you. I couldn't see.
Suresh Bhatia. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. We are all in your debt. Minuteman, Votech, and Library, Brian?
Those are great.
Good to go?
Yep.
Okay. Library's calmed down. They've got their building done.
Yep. So that's pretty calm. Happy to keep that one. Unless, I think last year we were really kind of focused on agenda-driven things. So, I mean, if we want to shelf that one this season based on what your agenda is, that I would say there's probably less activity on that one. So
I think it's always worth having someone in case something comes up. We have
I'm happy to do
have
it.
someone to look to.
Yeah. I'm happy
That
to do it.
doesn't mean you need to tune in or go to their meetings or anything like that, because
I'll do it. I've been doing it for a while now.
Okay.
So that's fine.
well, I could do library because I hear about it every night, but
Well, I'm there with my kids all the time. So it's,
do you know who's on the corporation?
oh, you are?
My husband.
Oh, your husband. I see.
So I would have a conflict on that one anyway. But, okay, Amherst was doing rec commission. I'll check with him. Regional Dispatch Center, that was Mary. Greg, how about that one for you?
I'd have to look in when they meet and stuff. And is that fire and police, or is that something else?
So what is that?
I'm not sure.
I think it's the consolidation with Acton, right? On the police.
We're gonna get the rundown from our selectman here,
Oh.
board member.
Yeah, so it's a regionalization of the emergency dispatch services, which of course cover fire, EMT, police, with Acton at a site in Acton.
Okay.
So, but of course, there's a new entity that's been created out of that. And the net funding should be positive out of it, but there certainly is a lot of money going around. So worth watching from a finance committee perspective.
Just can I ask a question?
Please.
Are we a part of NCLEC or sort of a broader Middlesex regional consortium of emergency first responders? I just remember going to a lot of the community events, and I'm seeing big
I don't
NCLEC
recall seeing that acronym, but it might be independent of this, and I can't say whether we are or not. This is
I'm just wondering if there's
specific
overlap there
to
for-
Concord and Acton. Yeah.
Just Concord and Acton. And Matt, before you get up, so that's a dispatch center. It would move to Acton?
The facility would be in Acton, the consolidated facility. Yeah.
Okay. So,
I mean, it's being worked on now.
so that may also have something to do with the town's capital requests for the, police fire station renovation, because they're in there now, right?
They are there now. Yeah. Though I think there are much broader issues around
I know.
why there's that.
I know, but just Greg, if you were going to take it on, it would be, working with the selectmen and the town finance director on the, just, kind of pouring over the budget sheet for that, looking at how it might impact our current facility. I don't think it's going to get too intense this year.
Right, and the personnel would work for the new entity.
Yep.
So, also, I should just mention as a point of process that if you do speak close to the mics. Otherwise, it's very difficult to hear
Yeah.
in this room.
Yeah.
Peggy, I can take a look at the timing. That's what'll
Okay.
make my decision is more the timing. If I could go to the meetings, because I like to attend them rather than watch them on video. So
During the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt says they tend to meet during the
At
daytime.
least in the past, that's what they've done.
yeah, let me take it. I'll try and find the schedule. I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay. All right, Greg. Now, what time is best for you? The evening or?
Yeah, the obviously these times, like FinCom times, but I'll take a look and see what I can do.
Okay, so I'll put a question mark next to you. Anyone else interested in that? I was trying to give Greg something manageable. Okay. Well, let's make sure that's manageable, Greg. And if it is, that would be great. Or we can, we will have 2 new members anxious to find a committee to work with. So we can see about that. Broadband.
I believe that one's been disbanded. They wrote their report, so I don't
Okay.
believe that's a committee anymore.
Okay, I would say, honestly, that should go with the light board anyway, because they're,
That
one
was the
meeting.
special committee. That was the special committee formed for the broadband extension in Concord last year.
Okay,
That was that meeting. So I think they've disbanded, and yes, it's become part of the light board.
okay, I'm just gonna cross that out.
Unless I see Matt.
They will be presenting their final report at
Right.
the select board on our June 13th meeting.
Yeah, so I
Have
don't
a
think
seat
there's
at
going
the
to be
table.
anything. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything for this year to do for us on that one.
Okay, so that's an ad hoc committee, they'll be disbanded.
Yeah,
Or
but
dissolved.
their recommendations are going to involve a proposal for capital spending.
But
Okay.
that would come under the light plant, right? I mean, they're presenting it to the light plant and stuff too, right? It's not a separate committee at that point.
Well, I think they're going to propose using other potential sources of funds. So I don't know that I haven't seen the final report. So
Okay, so I'll circle broadband as someone we might want to keep, along with the
And
light board.
Mary actually had that one. My name was not. My name was up for there, but Mary actually took that one.
Okay. Okay, so we need the light plant and broadband. Oh, let's see, Chris isn't here today, is she?
No. Chris Reynolds? And neither is Lois.
Well, Lois is clerk.
She's what?
She's the clerk.
She's a clerk. Okay.
And I think, based on our experience this past year, the clerk is going to be kind of tagged with a little more responsibility to chase people around for minutes and get those done. And those are tough. That's a tough job. Okay. So I'm giving Lois a pass on these committees. Economic vitality, sorry. Matt, do you want to update us on, I know that, is that a permanent committee or a,
that's a permanent committee.
okay.
Yeah.
And where do they come in terms of funding and money? Like, why do we care? I mean, we care.
I was going to say.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
We're just not trying to
I
overstep our
think that
boundaries.
the one of the initiatives that we have visibility generally in the select board is the possibility of hiring either an economic development director for the town potentially, or some other position in that realm.
Okay.
And the 2 sets of roles that have been discussed are one that it would be a person to facilitate the local businesses getting through all the kinds of regulatory processes and so
Yep.
forth that we have. And just almost like a concierge service was the
Yep.
term they use in Lexington, to help local businesses. The other, though, was much more of an economic development role to attract businesses to Concord. And that's one that's more speculative type of a role. So just to say that, general economics for the town, and certainly trying to increase the business tax base or preserve what we have, that's really I think the objective of the committee. So it
Okay.
might be worth seeing, even though it's not explicitly like a spending item.
Okay, I'm going to keep that on. So we have Greg, you're a maybe for the dispatch center. Rec Commission, Amherst was on that before. I asked Amherst if he wants to do something more. Although he's pretty busy on guidelines, is that correct? So
Guidelines would be Parashar.
I know Parashar chairs it, but who
Oh,
else is
okay.
on the guidelines subcommittee?
I think it's Amra.
It's Amherst, yeah. And it's just 2 people on that subcommittee? That was my understanding. So that's a lot of heavy lifting. So we also have Christine.
And the guidelines subcommittee is not 2 people. It's the whole
Pardon me?
FinCom. The guidelines subcommittee is the whole FinCom, right? Not
Right.
2 people. It's not 2
Correct.
people.
Okay.
Peggy. It's all of us. It's all of us.
We're all on that committee.
We are all on that committee and we all report back to our own committee.
Okay. Got it. I was going to ask Parashar how that worked, but he's not here because I was a little unclear. I thought it was a subgroup of the committee that would really dive into those spreadsheets and understand the spreadsheets and report back to us.
Yeah, in the 3 years I've been here, and Brian, D, it's been all of us that dive into them, and we recommend. The whole committee makes a recommendation to the FinCom committee, and then from there,
That's right.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I think you're correct. I think you're correct as Parashar did do deep dives
Yeah.
as chair, so he would bring information to us and present it in a cohesive manner. But I agree, we are a committee of the whole.
It's not actually a subcommittee.
It's technically a subcommittee, but it's a committee of the
In name,
whole.
I think it's
Okay.
just we wanted to keep the integrity of the process, but to Greg's point and to your point, Parashar was doing a lot of the work. I think he consulted with Dean, but I'm not sure if he was a formal sort of subcommittee member.
Mm-hmm.
Came back, presented to us, and then us being the entire subcommittee. And then once we decided on that, we adjourned and then reconvened as the.
Well, I don't want to sound old, but I think in the old days it was a subcommittee of the,
And that's true.
like
It
back
was.
in the
It was.
2000.
But
Okay.
yeah, that's right.
you're a chair now.
Yes.
Thinking back in like 2000, 2008, that time frame. Okay, so just to summarize, I'll be the liaison to the select board. D is Board of Assessors. Ray, Concord Housing Authority. Retirement Board, I don't have anyone. We'll decide maybe a little later if we need someone for that.
I can just give you some highlights. I did that in my first year.
Can you put that microphone closer? Right,
Yeah, I did
right
that.
on your lips.
I did that in my first year, and at the time, the markets were so hot that we really didn't have a financial issue. So it might, and it's not too much work. So you could assign someone.
You'd be happy to do it again?
The schools. Actually, I was going to ask for some help with the schools. The schools is a lot of work.
Schools is a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to circle retirement board. That might be worth having someone kind of keep an eye on that. Rayer Affordable Housing Trust, Tax Fairness Committee. Are they still?
The Tax Fairness Committee has been disbanded,
Yeah.
They've been dissolved?
dissolved, yes.
Dissolved,
As of our
disbanded.
as of a recent select board meeting, they came in and presented to us.
Okay.
Certainly, we're still committed to the principles, but given the constitutional and legislative barriers that they faced and just the protracted nature of their efforts without being able to achieve more than our local town programs resolved,
Yep.
they didn't see a basis to continue.
Yeah. Understood. Okay, light board is open. Public Works, Eric, thank you. Planning Board, Don, thank you. Community Preservation, D. Board of Health.
I do want to follow up, though, with one other comment, which was that the select board has put into its goals that we are going to take a serious review of the real residential exemption this year.
Yep.
I know that the Board of Assessors evaluates it every year. They have consistently suggested not to proceed, but certainly the members of the current members of the board are really seeking ways, especially in the face of the middle schools funding, to find a way to reduce the burden on the lower end of the tax scale. So that probably is of interest to the Finance Committee.
So Matt, if I can give you one piece of advice, whoever is your select board liaison to the light board, don't let them drop the exemption from, or the rate reduction that's built into the rates for people of less means, that meet the means test. It comes up every year. We've kept it in that rate. I started it and I kept it when I was on that board, but there's always pressure on reducing that. It's one of the few things we can do. We can lower the electric rate all by ourselves. So keep that on your radar screen. Okay, schools, Kathy, and you feel like you'd like a co-assistant with that?
If there's somebody who'd be interested,
Okay.
it might not be bad.
Okay, we'll see.
They meet twice a month, and then there's always some extra things.
Okay. Suresh, thank you very much for your volunteering on the middle school building committee. When's your term up?
You're
25. Okay, 25, and it's your first term. Excellent.
I'll get it finished by the same time. I'll be building a school in Lawrence, Mass, a similar size school over there. So,
All right. Brian, Minuteman VOTEC and Library, you're going to keep? I will check with Amherst on the Recreation Commission. Senior Services Council on Aging. Maybe we'll just keep that in abeyance at the moment. There's always more we could do with staffing and buses and services. And I know that was pretty high on the long-range plan, discussion, but maybe not at the elevated right now. So just leave it off. I'm getting that impression it's the thing to do. Not going there this year. Concord Housing Development, Ray, thank you again. We got the Regional Dispatch Center, broadband, and economic vitality. So I will reach out. Greg, we can take a look at whether one of those works for you. I think I'd rather keep Lois off a committee and keep her focused on, tracking down minutes and other clerkship duties. Amherst and Chris, I'll check with them on the other several committees. And then hopefully we'll have 2 new members in the Retirement Board, Regional Dispatch, Broadband, Economic Vitality, and all seem like good ideas for new members. I'll put it out there. I think the Light Board is not a beginner assignment, so I might really push that in Chris's direction if I can. Or, Chris. I don't think that's a beginner assignment. All sound good?
Mm-hmm.
So are we doing backups as well, or was that the backup?
What do you mean backup?
I think there was a point in time where you were asking for a backup person.
Yeah, and in my tenure,
Yeah, it's been hit or
always,
miss.
well, because they've been recorded, Chris would say to me,
Just do
watch the
recording.
video.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
I got very good at zooming through to find the finance
nugget.
nugget,
Got it. Okay.
which actually became much more efficient than sitting there for 3 hours.
No problem with that.
As long as as long as that process continues to have recordings, I think I can handle it. But if we have to actually physically sit there for 3 hours to find the,
That's tough.
Yeah.
Matt, if we can keep the hybrid and Zoom meetings going, if the select board has anything to say on that, I think it would.
Yeah, I think
Very
while
important to
we,
the
as a
FinCom.
board, like to meet in person, that in terms of offering the option to the other town boards and committees, I think we're all in.
Good.
One last comment. They're broadcast, right? In other words, when they're in person, if they're not on Zoom, they're broadcast. So
Some are.
Not very many.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The big ones are live.
Okay.
The smaller ones are recorded.
This one's actually broadcast right now.
Yes, this one's broadcast. Select board, school committee. I think those are the
Maybe
big
planning
ones.
board, but or ZBA, but maybe
Yeah.
not. I don't think so.
But it's really helpful that they're available on YouTube.
Yes, really helpful. We would have a real minute problem if that wasn't the case. Okay, mea culpa. We only have about 1 or 2 sets of minutes left outstanding. One of them is mine. Okay. Committee assignments. Town meeting. Matt, any update on the special in October? A date? or-
Not yet. No. We will be getting that straightened out pretty soon, though. We expect in June to sit down with the moderator for both the ATM town schedule for next year, town meeting schedule, as well as the special, because it's good to do them both at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
So
What's on the warrant for the special?
Public Works funding, I think is it the wastewater? It's Public Works driven, yeah. Or it might be the water plant, yeah.
Okay. And then
As you can see, I'm not totally up to speed on that one yet.
nor am I.
Yeah.
I see it says the annual meeting, April 9th. Possibly. My calendar says that's Easter Sunday.
Oh,
Annual town meeting has not been scheduled yet for next year.
No, it's right here on the agenda. I'm looking on the agenda.
yes, right now,
There's a couple
it
of
was
dates that
set up for
that were
either
being
the
discussed.
9th or the 30th.
Right.
Your calendar for 22, which I don't have 22.
23
23,
says Easter is April 9th.
Okay.
okay.
So,
Well,
just thought I'd toss that out.
I
yeah.
told Carmen I'd rather do it on the 30th.
Okay. Well, I'll be having breakfast with Carmen tomorrow, so we'll talk.
Okay. Excellent. And once those are set, our calendar kind of ruffles backwards from there. Okay. Our meetings, we did have a schedule, which is pretty rough. I think it was nice, I'm looking at a document here that went out with the packet, sort of compares the last year and this year. It's not filled in detail. We'll be working on that, further once we know what when the town meetings are, because our meetings generally will be of course, the 4th Thursday of the month, but then we start getting into some hearings and other meetings, guidelines, things like that as we get closer to town meetings. So that is still an open item.
Question.
Sure,
Is your
Bob.
next meeting, I thought I read somewhere July 21.
Our next meeting is, I think, the 24th of June.
I'm sorry, yeah, and then July, is that not true? You haven't said anything past June? Because the 21st wouldn't be the fourth Thursday.
The fourth Thursday of July is what?
It would be the
Two.
28th, I would assume.
Yeah, it should be the fourth one.
Okay.
Yep. Now, there was some question, I think, last year, we might not have had a July meeting, but I think we should put it on the calendar
We did.
until we want to
It's
cancel
on,
it.
it's on, it's on mine.
July 22nd, okay.
I
And-
have 28 July, do you?
I've been in the middle of the minutes, so I know we did it on July 22nd.
You did those minutes.
No, I'm wrapping them up now, so I'm sort of knee deep in them, so.
I think June 23rd is a Thursday. You mean
I'm looking forward. I'm saying July 28th.
July 1,
is-
2, 3, July 28th is
It's the 4th, so we should have
Yeah.
one. Okay.
Now, I will not be available for the June meeting, and Parashar will be chairing that meeting. That's the 23rd
Of June?
of June.
Okay.
And if anyone cannot attend a meeting, that's completely understandable. Please let me and Bob and Chris, thank you. Bob, Chris, and I know ahead of time. Don't announce it no reason to announce when you're on vacation to the wide world for security purposes, but please let us know.
So this column here, draft,
Very draft.
okay. At the bottom, it says the 21st of July, and we just said 28.
It'll be 28, sorry.
I
It's the
also,
4th, not the 3rd, the 4th.
right, so I just looked at August, and the 18th of August is also the third
Jeez.
Thursday.
Okay,
So
sorry.
it should be the 25th.
Somebody,
I did parallel with your last year's meetings, which were not on the third.
did we
Somebody,
change?
it looks like somebody did 3 weeks instead of the fourth
Yeah.
Thursday.
Did we
If you notice,
change our
it's
policy on
8th
that?
of September.
Just copied what you did in this current year,
Okay,
next year.
so it might be just one of those
So
leap
whatever you want to
leap
do.
year things.
Whatever you want.
Yeah,
I think
whatever you want to
yes, so August,
do. And you're going
is
to probably want more
25th.
meetings before the special town meeting.
August 25th. Yeah. In September.
Correct, 22nd.
Yep. Okay. And then we'll just be filling in additional meetings as necessary. Thanks, Kathy.
As we approach the special town meeting, there'll be other meetings probably?
Yeah,
Okay. Maybe that's why there's two listed here.
yeah. But we don't know, we got the 8th, but we don't know actually when that special second
Okay.
town meeting will be, so. Okay, so I don't really have much more to add on schedule. That'll get filled in.
One observation, Peggy, that we may want to table for the July meeting, but I recall Carrie typically did a orientation in August. I don't know if we wanted to line that up with the meeting, or I just wanted to make especially for the new colleagues, but just as an FYI, I'm not quite sure if you wanted to
No,
discuss that tonight.
absolutely. You know what, I saw something on that, Bob. Did you guys send that out, or?
I think the minutes may have been sent out. Last year, it was August 18th, when you had your regular meeting.
What, did that take up a regular meeting? It was a separate meeting.
Well, I think there was there was some talk because you were going on vacation at the time. We were
Right.
trying to figure out if it was going to be the first week of August. I know all this
Yeah.
top of mind just because I was doing the minutes. It really depends on you and Carrie and
Right.
colleagues that may be on vacation, because August is obviously a vacation month.
Yeah.
I think in the past, there's a video of the previous orientation, is that correct?
Yeah, that would make
I
sense.
think I watched that because came in the middle of the term. And it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's excellent. And I remember last year, she did a very in-depth description of, the capital budgeting versus the operational budget, what the FinCom's responsibilities were, what they
Right.
weren't,
Right.
and it was very clear in terms of, what we were and weren't doing. Bob, I thought I saw something come out on that. It might have just been to me, or to me and Chris, or Chris sent it to me. We only have a couple people that would
Yeah.
be new, although never hurts to do it again. So Bob, could you just check with Carrie? Okay. Thank you. That's a good point.
You're welcome.
Okay, that would be suggestions for meetings, topics, format. So in terms of format, I think we're all in agreement. We'd like to maintain a hybrid meeting format. Anyone up on the screen want to weigh in on that? Or come on down? Okay, got it. And any suggestions for meetings or topics or format? I think what I'll do is especially sit down with Chris and Parashar. And while this very draft schedule, does start to fill in some of the things like the joint select board hearing, guidelines, town meeting and whatnot, maybe we can go through the agenda. I'll go through the agenda so we can sort of fill in a little bit more on what the potential agendas are for every single meeting, and then we can add to those. And people can think, one thing we talked about last year but never, really came to fruition was such and such, or, and let's put that on the agenda. But like the whole affordable housing package might be something that would be, and free cash, basically, how those work together and whatnot. I think some things like that came up in some of our discussions, but didn't mature because we weren't doing anything with it at the time. But it might be worth having that discussion before guidelines and before policy is fully developed. Yeah, I think free cash is going to be a big one because there's a lot of demands on free cash this year because of the middle school. Dee, you have your hand up?
I did. A couple things that I was thinking about. One is, in the past, we usually have the auditor come in, and Carrie arranges that. And I think it would be good to have a discussion with the auditor, what they see, what ideas they might have, or what could impact our decision-making. Another area.
Dee, so if we were going to have the auditor come in, would that be for fiscal 22 or 21?
It would be for the audit that they just finished.
Like,
So it would be for fiscal 22. And they usually come in and then they just, tell us the good news and that's about it. But I just think it might be good since we have so many expenses coming up. And he has done it in the past.
sounds
So
good.
I just don't know what the timing is. It's usually, I think it's in the late summer. Another one is capital planning. rather than waiting to the end of the year to find out what different, whether it's the town or DPW or the schools are thinking about for capital planning, it might be, it's just a suggestion that we actually have the entities come in during the year and just be able to have a discussion with them about capital planning for the next 5 years. So we have a better sense of some of the costs that we're going to be seeing.
Okay. Especially, we
I think
could,
especially DPW.
I was going to say we could, recirculate the current capital plan that we have and say, if you think you're going to have any changes this year, we want to talk to you. So it's sort of, kind of puts the onus on them, like speak now or hold your peace. I think that would be great. It's sort of that, we usually, doesn't the FinCom prior to guidelines usually circulate a questionnaire to the different departments? It'd be like that.
I don't know. I don't think that we've done it in my, first 3 years.
For the town manager, maybe?
I'm not sure.
Are you talking
But that's,
about?
it's a suggestion. That would be a way to start it.
Well, I think we did, historically, we've sent letters. Dee, I think I think what we would send letters out with questions to the respective entities.
Right.
That
You mean for like guidelines?
for the guideline process, if that's what you're talking about. But
That's what I was.
That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm just trying to be very specific about capital and capital planning for the foreseeable future.
It just strikes me as a little premature. We just ended the cycle of beating everybody up on capital items. So, it might do us well to table this till the next meeting, and hopefully Parashar
Yes.
can give us his view of how he'd like to manage the.
That would be great. I do believe, as Brian just said, that the FinCom sends a letter to every entity asking them, what they foresee. I'm not sure exactly what it says, but I've been on enough committees and seen those letters enough times and had those on the recipient's agenda.
Right.
So I know they go out
But my expectation that would be in the fall.
in the fall.
Okay.
Right. But that, and I just for clarification purposes, that it's my understanding that's for the upcoming year. And my concern is more looking out further than that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I was going to say, I think it's a good idea to send that letter early so that it is on their minds that they have to have some thoughts about capital to feed into us in time for us to be able to do a good job. And perhaps in that letter, we give some deadlines for response so that it's in their agendas.
Yep. Okay. Maybe some, never mind. I was gonna say, might be too pushy to send last year's capital plan and say, any changes? Nope, fine. You don't have to come meet with us. Good luck to us. Okay. So any other ideas? I'll work with Parashar and look at the previous agendas from last year and try to mirror those and put in some dates, and that'll kind of give us a feel for what we were talking about last year, and if there are any hanging chads, we can put them on an agenda for this year. Okay. Meeting minutes. We have May 1st, 22, April 28th, 22, March 17th, 22, a hearing, December 16th, 21, a hearing, November 4th, 21, July 22nd, 21, July 24th, 21, May 6th, 21, that was a hearing, April 29th, 21, a hearing, available for approval tonight. Does anyone have, yes, Bob?
I have not seen 3 of these. May 1st, I don't know who was doing May 1st, so you might want to strike that from the list. And then I know FinCom members were working on November 4th and July 22nd, so those are not yet available.
Correct.
So everything else on the list is in the packet.
So May 1st is not available, but everything else
I've not
is?
seen it, so I just don't know.
It's not in here.
So July, I know July 22nd is still outstanding because I'm working on that one right now.
And I'm
Yeah.
working on November 4th.
Right, and then, so those are the 3.
Am I working
that
on
are in the
November
packet.
4th?
Yes.
So that's not available, okay. And you're working on July 22nd?
Yes.
Okay. So with those removed from the list, does anyone have comments on those minutes or edits to the minutes? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve April 28th, March 17th, December 16th, June 24th, May 6th, and April 29th.
Move to approve?
Second.
Second, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call?
Aye.
We don't need a roll call?
It's got to be roll.
It's got to be a roll call. So D,
Yes.
Greg, I'm having a hard time.
Yes.
Sharash?
I have a question. Since I'm
He wasn't there.
you
He
can
wasn't
abstain.
there. He
Oh,
can abstain.
you can abstain.
I can abstain. Okay, I abstain, please.
Okay. Greg?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Peggy? Yes?
Did you ask Eric?
Eric's
Yeah,
on-
okay.
Yeah, Eric's on the screen.
I'm a yes.
Sorry, Eric.
I'm a yes.
Oh, you're a yes. Okay. So that is unanimous with the exception of one abstention. And they are approved, and I so declare.
Question?
Yes.
Going forward, how are we going to be managing this?
We are trying to staff up to get, so in 21, my understanding is Anita Techley was taking our minutes, producing them routinely, and we're up to snuff. And this, for any of the public in the audience, we have fallen behind because our wonderful staff person left, and we had to, hoping to get another staff person to do this. When we didn't, we divvied them up among committee members and produced them. And we're pretty much caught up. I think we just have the three to go. Hopefully, going forward, Kathy, good question. We can get a staff person to do it. If not, it's going to be Lois's job to assign them out and get them done on a rolling and timely manner,
Thank you.
which is why I took her off other assignments. Bob?
If I might, there is still a lot of minutes missing from just after the pandemic that we're trying to catch up on.
Oh,
So from once the pandemic started through the next maybe 4 or 5 months, we can't find any minutes that were done.
in the,
So staff
so
will
in
work on
2020?
those.
For the FinCom.
2020 for FinCom, yeah, just for FinCom.
And they probably weren't recorded on, I mean,
I think we have that,
okay.
I think. So we
Because
can-
we've been, thankfully, have the YouTube videos to create the minutes from.
right.
But in March of 2020, you probably don't have YouTube videos.
We'll have to look. I know
I'd be shocked.
the person working on them was getting through the public hearings were a big job, as you could see.
Yeah.
And now, we're back to the easier meeting. So just so you know,
Okay,
by
thank you.
next meeting, you'll have a fuller inventory.
Okay.
And we're trying, Kerry has hired someone in the office to start the middle of June, so we'll hopefully be able to staff this shortly.
Did you say March 2020?
Yep.
Well, you know the saying, if you're in a hole, stop digging. So I think we're pretty much out of the hole, and I'm not going to lose sleep over 2020, but I want to keep up with 22.
It would seem that to stop digging, you would just stop holding meetings.
Well, there's that too. Oh, there's so many places we can go with that. I'm not even going to start. So, okay. Any new business? Okay. Motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Dee.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ray. Ray, second.
I volunteer to take these minutes.
And I want you to look at the clock.
8:04, not bad.
Oh,
I still challenge you to be that again this year.
I'm sure this is beginner's luck. Organizational meeting.
Are you serious, Brian? I was going to ask Lois what she wanted to do about this.
I'll take.
Do we have to vote? Do we have to vote to?
That's fine. I mean, it's such a
Peggy,
short.
No, Peggy,
Peggy,
as the chair,
have to
can
vote.
declare the end of the meeting.
I'm sorry, Greg?
Don't we have to vote to or say aye?
A roll call to adjourn. Our governmental specialist says we don't have to have a roll call to adjourn.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's good.
Bye,
Have a
everybody.
good night, everybody.
Chair closes the meeting.
all right.
Okay, and so Ray, you're gonna let the minutes show that Ray.